Okay, so what's up? I reviewed Reefer Madness. Okay, I was first introduced to this film back film school 15 years ago when we were discussing propaganda films. So at that point, I did not watch it because, I mean, it didn't really interest me. But since this channel talks about quitting weed, and that film was in the 1930s, I believe, or 40s, I believe 30s. It was a propaganda film designed to steer young teens away from smoking weed. So, was it good? Did it do it justice? Did it make its point? Or was it just a load of bullshit? Okay, so let's jump into it. First of all, when the movie starts, it gives all this disclaimers about where we came from and how it's overtaking teens in America, basically trying to scare people before they watch the film. Now, I should have said the original title of the film, or where it came from, was "Tell Your Children," because again, this is designed to be geared towards children, to steer kids to not smoke weed, kind of like when we used to watch the sexual education films in school, where they'll show you pictures of people with gonorrhea, syphilis, to try to convince you to not have sex. So although this channel, like I said, does talk about quitting weed, I don't know if this film actually achieved that. I probably would smoke weed still if I watched this. So it starts off with May Coleman and Jack Perry, which are a unmarried couple, which basically they run a pot house. Kids come to their house where they can smoke weed, smoke joints, and have a grand old good old time. So these kids all come to their house and they smoke weed. What stuck out to me was everybody had their own individual joint. So I guess we weren't in the time of puff puff pass. Just everyone came, got their own joint, which I think was kind of great. So one day they're at a party and the main character Bill, well, one of the main characters, Bill, they ran out of weed. So they went somewhere to basically make a weed run. So Bill and Ralph, I believe, drive somewhere while they're high to get some weed. They end up running over a man that he eventually died. So now the law are trying to determine, or trying to investigate, how this man died. It was a hit and run. Who hit him? Who killed him? Where are they? Yada yada yada. So on another day, Bill comes back to the weed house and has a fling with a girl named Blanche. So while Bill is having an affair with Blanche or whatever, his girlfriend comes over and she comes in contact with Ralph. Okay, so Ralph gives her a joint. She doesn't know it's a joint. She thinks it's a cigarette, and of course she smokes it, gets high. He tries to rape her. Bill comes out, sees that his girlfriend is getting raped, possibly, and him and Ralph get into a big fight, and a gun is drawn. They wrestle over the gun. The gun goes off, and Mary, Bill's girlfriend, is shot and killed. So now there are two people dead, and of course the law is trying to find out why these people are dying. Is it in connection with this marijuana that is taking over the youth in the city? So they convinced Bill to think that he was the one that killed his girlfriend, and because he was high, they convinced him that that was the case. So through the police and investigators, he realized he didn't do it. He actually works with them to Ralph turns in. So Ralph is arrested and convicted of really insanity. So throughout the film, they portray weed as this thing that makes you crazy, paranoid. They treat weed almost like it's bath salts. So of course I disagree with this film because teens don't smoke weed and just start killing each other. And I mean, maybe it could make you have sex. I wouldn't say that, but you're not gonna like go kill anybody. So I think their portrayal of weed and what it does to you was a bit over the top, a bit over exaggerated, and not really true. And even I wouldn't say the film even focused on weed itself. It made weed almost an ambiguous thing. Like it could have been alcohol, could have been crack, could have been cocaine, bath salts, like I said, or whatever. None of the traits actually identify with the true characteristics of somebody who's high or stoned. I mean, some people commit suicide and jump out of the window. Like I said, they're going crazy. They're paranoid. They're all over the place. I mean, weed doesn't really make you like that. So overall, I was not impressed with this film. I mean, I watched the version in color, so I was appreciating the colored film and how that looked. But the film itself, I wouldn't recommend it to anybody that's trying to get somebody to quit weed. It is totally dated and not true to the problems associated with weed or cannabis. And like I said, it was actually so sophisticated to you didn't realize these were like weed houses or drug dealers. Everybody was just so prim and proper, sophisticated. I'm like, I'm not convinced these people actually are drug dealers. I was quite impressed by their sophistication. So this film does not convince anybody to not smoke weed, and it's not even really a good film. I wouldn't recommend it. So yeah, that was my review of, if you have an issue with weed addiction, maybe you should look into it, try to quit for a while, discover why you have the issue. I probably wouldn't watch this film. Yeah.